Guys, got the valve cover off here. Gonna do a valve adjustment and then see how far I can get and maybe get to the point of starting it. I'm not sure yet. Still got some wiring to do and a few other things, but let's get at it. So, as far as like adjustment tools, if you guys don't have anything, they make, I mean, you can get them online. They're not that expensive, but like back in the day, they were kind of pricey. And like I made this one. So it's basically, it's like this weird kind of flexible wrench from AutoZone welded to a socket and then just a flathead screwdriver. And that's all you need. Makes things really nice. That's how you know things are getting serious. Ooh, we're putting oil in it. So on these eBay wiring harnesses, and I mean really any fucking RSX harness, it doesn't really matter. Since this is a K24, you have to actually switch out the plug on the crank sensor because it doesn't plug in, and then also you have to move the wires around, which there's a lot of wiring diagrams online for that. But if you don't, it won't start. And then the other thing that I was messing with on the wiring. So before I had shown you guys that I had that this little guy on there. I actually don't need that anymore. I just went through and I just looped it. I figured out which two wires on here were actually for the neutral safety switch on this auto. So if you're doing an automatic R50, looks like it's the blue, black, and then the red, white on this harness here, which goes to that plug. Okay, so I currently got the rest of the wiring is done. So these are the two wires going from the fuel pump to the new fuel pump relay. They basically just go down. I cut the two wires off of the original fuel pump relay right there and just wired it in. It's all kind of a mess right now because still got more to do, but I mean, I'm really close to getting it to start. I think I got just about everything put together, but I'm just waiting on computer updates. So once I get this all installed and everything, I can upload a map. Okay, we're finally getting somewhere. Finally got the Haltech software installed. This computer is extremely slow. I don't know why I have this problem, but it seems like about every 3 years I have to get a new computer. I don't know if everybody else out there has that problem. If you do, and you have a laptop of some sorts you recommend that's reasonably cheap, because I'm in need of another one, you should, yeah, let me know. But we're loading the map onto here, and then I'm gonna go through it, make sure everything's okay, and then I'm gonna upload it, and we'll give it a shot. All right, we're gonna give it a shot. I got the tune uploaded, so we'll see if it runs. stay running. I think that's because of the idle air control valve. But who cares? It runs, right? So awesome. Got a lot more to do, but that's a big win. Hell yeah. So I just messed with the throttle stop on it. So, because I noticed that the blade was like all the way shut. There was no tension on it at all. So I just gave it a couple few turns. So we'll see if it stays idling this time. So the throttle position sensor isn't quite working right. In fact, not at all. So I think that's why it doesn't quite want to rev up correctly. It's like kind of cutting before it goes. If you look at the throttle position, it's basically staying at 0 the whole time, which doesn't surprise me because the throttle position sensor that I have, I found it in a box. I didn't know if it was good or not. It's apparently not, so I have to get a new one. But hey, it idles now and revs up, so fuck yeah. So I went and picked up this fitting here, just a 3/8 to 1/8 pipe thread for the oil pressure sending unit. I'm not entirely sure if I could have used the Honda one or not, because I don't know like what the rate, like how it's reading. So I'm just gonna adapt it and put it in, and it'll work that way. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I got the oil sending unit is in the back of the block. I had to tap the threads back there. And I had to run some threads over the new fitting too, but it's all in there. So this piece is done, and then this one is going to go to power steering, right? Which we talked about before. So I was looking into like the charge indicator light, and I discovered that it's actually this black and yellow wire. I cut it off right here, and it was going to the alternator, which I didn't realize that that's what it was. So at this point, I just need to tap into this wire and run it back through to the alternator light spot on the Honda harness, and then the alternator light should work. Okay, so after some digging around with this wire, I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to tee it off of that wire that I talked about before, and I'm going to run it to this blue and white one because they are extra wires, which is super handy. So I have this wire that goes all the way inside, and it runs off of the C101 connector. And so it runs to, see that blue and white one right there? I just did a jumper. I put a piece of wire in there and jumpered it straight over to the alternator light, so I can run it right off here through the harness out into the engine bay, and I won't have to run any external wires. And I think and then I added another one here. This one's the extra one for the other side, and I haven't decided if I might end up using that one for fan control. If not, it's open for something else, which is super handy. All right, so since I still need to wire that one wire, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, and I'm going to take these into work. I'm going to get all of those extra wires depinned so it's all ready to go. That way I don't have to take it back off again. So I'll take that into work, as well as that one for the original mini DME. So I'll take both those off, get those depinned, and then I think what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to put those smaller like subframe frame horns in, and then I'm going to put the bumper support in so I can start mocking up the radiator. Yeah. Well, it helps to put the right frame horns on the correct sides. Let's try that again. So I started working on putting the bumper support on there, and then I realized that I still need these those plastic, the whole lock carrier. Obviously, it has to be cut and broken and all that stuff. I mean, it was already broken in the center. So I started breaking it down some more, and now I'm trying to get it to fit, and I realized that I'm gonna have to put the air conditioning compressor on before I could put that on, because it looks like the bolts are gonna get in the way, because this car's keeping AC. So I guess I'm gonna put the AC compressor on, then work on the bumper. So just like everything else on this car, the clearance is not a lot, but it does clear. You can kind of see from this angle. You can see how close it is to that frame rail, but it does clear. So looks like that should be possible. Should be no problem. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of this video. Huge achievement. Got it to run this weekend, so hell yeah. Still, you know, like every video, there's still quite a bit more to go, but it's getting closer and closer by the minute. I think I only need to buy a few things to really finish it up. Still need the rest of my fuel system stuff. Still need to get like an idler pulley and a coolant housing for the side of the head so that battery tray will clear. I did buy the materials so that I can build the radiator support next time. It looks like it's gonna fit in there pretty well. I mean, obviously, it's been done, so I know it can be done, but it's gonna be interesting because since I'm trying to do all of this with air conditioning, I gotta somehow fit the, you know, all the air conditioning parts in at the same location. So once I get working on it, hopefully there's enough room to make everything fit in there. Obviously, the AC compressor fits. That's a big win. It's not a lot of clearance in there, but that's just how it goes. Get get some of that wiring depinned. Get ready to put that on there and finish up the main part of the wiring, tucking everything up. I still need to figure out where the malfunction indicator light, like where the signal wire is supposed to go. I found one document about it, and I think I got an idea, so we'll have to dig into that next time also. That's one of the things on my list, and hopefully I can get that axle, that intermediate shaft that I'm still missing, that my buddy is still dragging his heels up, but one of these days it'll get there. I guess it doesn't need to move today, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so that's gonna be it, guys. So like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things, and peace out.